Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast with Robert Eichert. This is episode number 18. Thank you for joining. And I'd like to talk about real estate as part of a diversified portfolio. I just wrote this blog and it's published on the website roberteichert.com. But I wrote an article about it, and I'll just kind of read a little bit and talk about it. It says many people have a portfolio of stocks, bonds, and maybe mutual funds. However, real estate can be an important part of a well-diversified portfolio. So many people think that those are the ways that you retire who don't think about real estate. You get stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and those are fine. But real estate can play another key factor in a retirement portfolio. And you can also use retirement money in IRAs and 401ks, and you can apply it towards real estate assets, but that's beyond the scope of what I want to talk about today. But that's something worth looking into if you're interested. And you say, I don't have the money to get into real estate. You may have it if you want to get into real estate in these other accounts that you could use towards real estate. So talk to your financial advisor about that and see what they say. So put in here, in addition to providing income, real estate can also appreciate. So one of the best benefits of real estate is a steady income if you can keep it occupied. So you get a portfolio, let's just say that's a pie of your portfolio. You may have different things in your portfolio for your retirement, but real estate can, and in my opinion should, play a part in that. And you might have stocks, bonds, pension possibly. That's becoming less and less prevalent today. And then you can have other things, but so real estate can play a key part in that, and they can also provide income in a retirement where some of these others may not provide much income. And then I also put certain asset types in real estate. Once you get into real estate, may be more favorable than others. Like, for example, large shopping malls may not be the best thing going forward today. A lot of them are not that viable anymore due to changing patterns of people buying. And I know a lot of people are buying online, or they want to just drive right up to a store and buy whatever they want. They don't necessarily want to work through a large shopping mall to get what they need. Real estate does over time usually go up in value, so that's a positive thing, and that will work in your favor, and it can be a hedge against inflation. As inflation hits, real estate often goes up in value. So as inflation goes up, it can also make real estate go up. So it's good, and the reason for that is everything that goes into real estate, many of the things are, as they become more expensive, like building materials, roofing materials, flooring, you name it, appliances, as those go up in value with inflation, well, if you already have them in your real estate, then that tends to drive the value of real estate up. So the interest paid on a real estate or mortgage is currently tax deductible and can also be depreciated for tax expenses. So that's tax purposes. So the lower the overall tax burden, the higher your net return would be. The policies behind allowing these benefits to investors are, as policymakers, give real estate investors incentives, tax incentives to invest is because it requires a tremendous amount of capital to buy and build and develop real estate. And many investors, if they, in a certain municipality or whatever, in a state, they may not come in and invest if there aren't tax incentives. So governmental entities will give them tax incentives and lower their tax burden, and then they can attract real estate investments into a certain area that may not otherwise get any injection of capital. So it can be like a magnet. As they lower the taxes to an area, it can be a magnet for development, and which can help the people with jobs and things like that. As new real estate and capital comes into a community. They also have opportunity zones. This is a federal deal where you can get certain tax benefits in certain zones where they're trying to create more opportunity in certain areas based on different things like demographics, and they're just trying to make it more balanced, and instead of all the money going to certain areas, to spread it out more, and then they make them opportunity zones. Tax credits for energy efficiency, partnerships. You can partner with state and local governments sometimes to do real estate. Private and public grants are available, but all those things help real estate to go up, and they may not be available to stocks. Also, it's kind of hard to wake up the next morning and find your real estate has gone down to zero because of some scandal that could affect stocks, like a scandal in the management, or the some type of regulation can just hit and drive a stock out of business. And so stocks can be very risky. Real estate has risks too, but so finally, it can reduce your overall risk. So you have all these different things, and that becomes a diversified portfolio. If you had everything in one, like for example, real estate, I'm not sure I would recommend that either. If you had everything in stocks, I'm not sure I would recommend that. But if you have your money spread out into different categories, it makes for more balance, and sometimes some things will go down and some things will go up. So that's the principle of diversification. And real estate does have a low correlation with stocks and other investments in terms of how things can go up. Real estate can go up, and when other things may be going down. So they don't work together. And so that can be an advantage to keep your portfolio more balanced. So thank you for joining us, and that's about real estate diversification.